What is going on, guys? I'm Bruce Lee and welcome to a brand new MFL video. I usually do this on Wednesday. I'm doing it a bit later because of the mid-season transfer window we're currently in, and we had a massive pack drop last night, which I did participate in. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Before I get started with any of this video, I just want to say, if you want to get involved in MFL, then check this highlighted link on the screen. I will also put it in the description of the video. Use this to get a free player when you sign up to MFL when you spend $25 in the store. And if I just check right now, I mean, we are in the middle of the season. They've just done a redemption cup, and now they have put up another one for another 21 hours. So this should go out later today. So you'll probably have a day or so by the time this goes out to register for that, which is a great little tournament where, you know, if you're too late to get involved for season 5, then it'll give you an idea of squad building, getting your tactics together and stuff like that. It'd be really good for anyone new wanting to get in. Of course, you can always go to the marketplace and buy an established club if you want to get involved in season 5 right now. So yes, I wanted to do some squad building talk this week on this video, squad building on a budget, but I think I need to get caught up on everything that has happened since we last did a video, and I believe this is where I was. I just changed all my tactics and it seemed to be going well. We got the game against FC Rotberg, who were recently added to the league. They have actually, from what I'm seeing, yeah, they started on a -6 because they missed 6 games to start with, and they're already up to 3 points. Ooh, if they had 9 points, they'd be 8th. Oof, that's brutal. That's brutal. But they have got themselves off the bottom. They've still got like 3 more games to play as well, so they've done well. But in the very first game, I won 2-0, and then we had an absolute meltdown in the cup, and you can see here we lost 2-1 to Manawatu, and then we lost 3-0 to Oita FC. Let me just show you this game first. I'm gonna go through this game because this game was nuts. I did kind of rotate a little bit. I still had a fairly strong side out, but my two right and left mids and my goalkeeper, they all needed rest. So I brought those in thinking it's not really going to be a problem. And then let's check at this. With their goal, they get a penalty. One big thing to note here, because I thought this would be a walk in the park. Look at these guys' fitness. 72, 73, 73, 80, 80, and 81. I thought, this will be a walk in the park. They're all tired, but obviously the game wanted to screw me over here. Started off early. They got the penalty to take the 1-0 lead. Let's take a look here. I pulled it back here with Tony Martinovic. You going to show me the goal? No, show me the goal, bro. Show me the goal. Right, Tony Martinovic, who I was talking about a lot in the last video, how he was playing really well. And here he goes. Bangs it in, pulls back the equaliser, which was great. However, 10 minutes later, guess who gets a red card? There he is. They throw the ball in. Boom. Martinovic, second yellow card. It's tied 1-1, and I'm like, this is just... The engine is really just giving it to me here. And just to add insult to injury, here we are in injury time. Fisher has the ball. Arnold gives it away to Alberto. He just keeps running. De Oliveira bangs it in the last seconds of the game. So... yeah, that wasn't great. I really felt I'd been completely shafted by the engine in that one. We did pull it back in the league, though, because we took on Sorokoba. We beat them 3-0. We then lost 3-0 in the cup to Oita FC, who I said they were an ice team. I had full strength side. They absolutely battered us. And I was starting to get a little bit concerned because the great start in the cup had just completely been washed away. The league... we beat Alexandria Algonquins, who were above us at the time. We beat them 1-0. They've had a bit of a drop-off since then. And then we took on Ding Royals, who were the top team. They beat us 2-0. We did try, absolutely tried to get through, and they're just too strong. They're way, way too strong. We come up against Jazan El Nimir. I had to rest my players for this one, and we ended up drawing 2-2, which left The final group game, very, very nervy. Jazan were top with Oita second and us in third. And I was like, oh my God, are we actually even going to qualify? And then finally, final game, Red Sox Vanuatu. We beat them comfortably 4-1. So let me just show you the Aspirants Cup here. We did go through at the top of our group, but look, we're basically in the group of death here. Like looking at this was such a close group. I'm just looking. Was anybody else really close? No, I don't think any other group was as close as ours. Yeah, there was always like one team that was kind of ours was like neck and neck the entire way, which was crazy. So came out top on the group of death, and now we play Saraska MFC in the round of 16. What's good about that is we got 3 wins in the group, which gives us an extra 150 MFL. For getting through to the round of 16, we get 180. We will get another 420 if we manage to beat Saraska in this game, but we'll see about that. But after that, I did kind of fix to the league because we're getting up there. We're close to those playoffs. We beat Cape Meridian, who are on a great run of form for such a long time, and we ended that. We beat them in a tight game, 1-0. And yeah, so it's looking at, now I'm like juggling. What do I do? Because I want to focus on the league, see if we can get into that third playoff. I think these two spots, Ding Royals are probably going to run away with it. Skyfall Houston are probably going to take the second spot. So this third playoff spot is absolutely up for grabs right now. Everybody's really close competing for it. I know Pete to Raf, they will probably jump up to 4th tonight because they play Rockberg today to get that game caught up, and because of their superior goal difference, if they win, obviously, I mean, if FC Rockberg do us a favour here, that would be nice. But we are very, very close to this third spot. So I'm like, do we push for it? Do we concentrate on the cover? I don't know. We're just going to have to see. We're going to have to take each game as it comes. But like I said, the pack drop happened last night. And I got some brand new players, which includes this guy here, Tom Hart. Scottish central defensive midfielder, 62 rated, 18 years of age, which makes him pretty much our best rated player and our youngest. He's got some decent stats there. His defence and his passing are both in line with his overall. His physical is 75, which means he's just going to be an absolute engine in the middle of that midfield. Pace, dribbling, shooting, all in about the 50 odd rating, but obviously he's 18. He could progress so much. And it means I'm going to have to probably change around. I can play him in central midfielder, and he drops down to a 57 rating, which is in line here with Fisher. So, I mean, if things, you know, if I need to put him in central midfield, I can. But I think I'm going to try and really take advantage of him there. And we're going to run a 4-1-3-2 and see how that goes for a few games. Again, if it doesn't work out very well, then I can stick him into the central midfield. And, you know, he just won't be as strong as he should be. So that's why I really want to take advantage of how strong and how good he is. So that is one big upgrade. I am going to try and find a striker as well before the transfer window closes, because something I have realised, you can see these 1-0s. Striker is it's just a spot that I've made such a mistake in when building my team, when getting the progression for my putting together my team, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more later. But striker was the big mistake I've made here. Look at this progression I have had so far. I am so ecstatic with this. Schaffner has gone up +2, +3 in defence, +1 in dribbling, and +2 in passing. He's got up to a 59. I actually think he's got at least another 1 or 2 in him before this season's over. He could end up the season on a 61 or 62. Villalba finally went up. Fiorini, I think he'd already gone up via Vitale as well. Tevez, just this morning in training, he went up to a 58, to a 52 shooting, but his shooting's still so bad. I'll show you his performance like soon in a second. But Pedrosa, my absolute beast, Brazilian beast, he's in the starting lineup now because of his performance. He's gone up +2 in passing, +2 in shooting. That's pretty much my best rated striker at the minute in terms of shooting. Arnold's gone up, And then Collins, out of nowhere, 26-year-old, barely plays any games, but he's got a +1 in passing, a +1 in physical, and he's jumped up to a 50. We've got a +1 for Zaitsev in shooting, +1 for Ramos in dribbling, and then Bersan, a +1 in pace. Everybody else has just been kind of going along. I'm hoping to see a little bit more before the end of the season, but let me just show you this performance. Let me show you these performances here. Goals. The reason this man has got into the starting lineup, and I was talking about it in the last video, is his goals to games ratio is ridiculous. He's played 6 games. He scored 11 goals. How can I leave this guy out? He's only got 55 shooting, and that tells me if I'd got a guy with better shooting, then maybe that'd be ridiculous. You know, a much better return. Tevez, he's scored 3 goals. He's got 4 assists. He's actually my top assister in the team, but it was his goals. He was getting so many chances and just wasting it, basically. It just wasn't going well. Let me look at 5.7 XG for this guy, and he only returned 3 goals. He should have been getting more. Vitali as well. Oh my God, Vitali. 7.48 XG there, and he's only got 4 goals this season. It's just not nice. 174 dribbles though, which, you know, I mean, that's cool, but he's getting the chances. He's just not putting them away. Whereas you look at Pedrosa over here, 6.49 XG over the season with 11 goals. And that is why he is now my starter going forward. We'll see if that changes. I'm looking for a replacement for Vitali, really, during this transfer window. I'm hoping to maybe loan someone in. Whether that happens or not, I don't know. So I'm just going to talk about how I built this squad, because I set myself a budget of $100, which is about £86. And I set that because I wanted to learn the game, and I didn't want to make loads of mistakes, and I've spent loads of money, and it's pretty good I have, because I have made some mistakes, and I'm going to discuss those right now. Like I said, the biggest mistake I made was with my strikers. Now, I bought Vitali. I thought, hey, what I was doing is I was looking for like kind of all-rounder stats and thinking I'd get away with it if he had good dribbling, if he had an okay pace. Even if his shooting was a little less, he'd probably score more. I think I was listening to Nepenthes on that, and I think he's come to the same conclusion. It's not really worked out, and I made that mistake thinking, he's got great dribbling, he'll be able to create loads of opportunities for himself, but the shooting of 52 has been a massive letdown. Same with Tevez. Now, I didn't buy Tevez, I got Tevez in a pack, so I can't really be blamed for that. But again, 52 shooting, not really good enough. Hamed, let me see, how many games has Hamed played? Hamed's played 4 games and got 4 goals. He's not bad. He's a 54 rated. He's only got 54 shooting. And then Pedrosa, who's, absolutely outperforming in stats right now, completely outperforming them. I don't know how much longer that's going to last, though. Hopefully it will continue for the rest of the season, but he's only got 55 shooting. It's really not good enough for my strike force. And I think when I get my next striker, he's going to be 65 to 70 in the shooting category. Even if he's suffering in other stats, shooting is going to be the number one thing I look at. That is a big mistake I made. I'm not going to make that mistake again. I'm glad I didn't get a striker with a big fee and end up messing it up because he only had 50-something shooting. This is another mistake I made as well. If you see everyone here, their ages, pretty much, no one's above 26. And I've been thinking about this recently. I set 26 as the target, and I was thinking about this a lot recently, and I was like, why did I do this? And I think I did it because of Football Manager, because I think we all do this. When a player hits 30, he's washed. He loses his stats. He starts declining. He's not as good. We look for a young replacement as quickly as possible. And I think I had that kind of mindset going into this. So I was like, right, everybody's got to be 26 or under. But the thing about this game is, even if they get to 30, 32, 34, their stats don't actually decline at all. So you've still got a super skilled player, but the thing on the marketplace is they're a lot cheaper. So especially at Spark level, Ice level, I'm like, why am I putting this restriction? If I could go and get, a 30-year-old striker who isn't set to retire, who's 67 rated and I can get him for cheap, he's still going to be on my team for at least 4 seasons. If he's not got the little retirement notification, then I'm going to get him for that season. Even if he gets the retirement notification next, it means he's going to retire in 3 seasons. If I've got him for 4 seasons at his stats, that's 6 months in real life. There is a lot of time I can still extract value from that player. So I think when I'm strengthening this squad next season, the age is not going to play a factor. I think when you get up to maybe iron and bronze and go, then thinking about age is probably, you're going to think about that a lot more. But at this level, when the MFL is just really low and I want to get up the divisions to get better MFL rewards, getting older players for cheap isn't, just let me look. Let's look at the marketplace just for a second. Let me go on, and I'm going to put, let's say, a striker, and we'll put him in, and we'll say his overall, let's say 65. So he's an uncommon, no matter what, an uncommon striker, and we'll set his price. Let's look at this. Let's find one with good shooting as well. Here, Contalvo, 65. He's 27. That's still pretty young. He's got 71 shooting. That only cost me $19. That's bargain. Like, honestly, what have I been doing here? Like, setting these things. I'm gonna have, if I signed Montalvo here, I'm gonna have him for 5-6 seasons, and he's gonna be a good striker for Spark. Certainly, he might do well in ice as well, and then Stone, it might be pushing it, but that's 2 seasons possibly where I've got him for really cheap price. He's still, great stat. I imagine he'll absolutely kill it in Spark and Ice with that shooting stat, to be honest. Yeah, so that's just something I'm not going to do for next season. The age just isn't going to matter right now. As long as they're not set to retire, then age I'm just not going to look at it this time. And the thing is, they don't decline, but they could also still get better. And when I put this squad together, I was putting it together thinking of progression. Now and that's what I had in mind when I bought some guys like Zaitsev here. Like, he's only 25, but the thing I noticed about him is he was freshly packed. So on average, a 25-year-old is going to get about 3 to 5 upgrades throughout his career on average. So 3 to 5, that puts him up to what, 6? Best case scenario, it puts him up to a 63. And I thought, pick him up for really cheap. I did the same. Yeah, I think I did it with all my centre midfielders. Fisher here, yeah, freshly packed. He's 24. He's a lot younger. Shiraishi, he's freshly packed, 23. I thought, I'm going to get some good progression out of these guys. I should do. Obviously, that's not good to plan right now. But that was my mindset when putting these guys together. Guys like Martinovic, still young, freshly packed. I thought, he's going to definitely get progression. He's definitely at least going to get +1. Chevalier, he's also freshly packed, 22 years old. I'm going to get great progression out of these guys. So that's why I bought these guys. I had progression in mind when I did that. And I maybe should have done that later on. Maybe when I was in ice. Maybe if I'd have got myself up to Stone. Some of these other guys I got, like, let's take a look at Bersan here. When I bought him, he's 25. 52 rated, but look at that. He was in the development center and he's just gone up. In the 4 seasons he's in the development center, he's just gone up. And maybe he should have got more games. Maybe I should have sent him out on loan now, thinking about it, because I think there's definitely more progression. Seeing him in the development center, he's definitely got more progression into him. At least get him to tier break, I reckon. And yeah, in the absolute flip side of that, I bought Sontag here, 24 right back, and look at that. He's been around for 5 seasons and not a single point of progression. Now, you might think that's a bad idea. Well, he's definitely going to get a +1, 100%. So that might just come later, and it might only ever be a 57. But what I also noticed when looking at other players' progressions is sometimes they can go 3, 4, 5 seasons with barely anything. And then in the last 2 seasons, it just shoots up and rockets up. And then when I saw that, I was like, maybe I'll take a little bit of a gamble here on this guy and just hope he rockets up later in his career, because he's 24. I should have him for a while, and I'm just hoping that spike comes later on rather than getting all early. Again, I could have been absolutely wrong here, and he only ever goes up to a 57, and that's it. And maybe he only goes up to a 57 when he's like 28 or something. What did I do with Ritter here? Because yeah, he's ready for a tier break. He's absolutely going to get a tier break. He's 26 years old. Probably needs more games, but as a serviceable backup, he was there for that. Kai, what did I do with Kai? Kai, I think he played in the Redemption Cup, so he didn't play many games, and I was hoping, I don't know, goalkeepers' progression seems a lot stranger because they don't get stats, they just get overall. So I haven't really worked out goalkeeper progression yet. But I was hoping, he's definitely going to go up to a 60 at some point. He's playing well for me. He's getting good ratings, 7.4. He's actually better in his recent games. So I'm hoping he goes up pretty soon. Then there's Villalba, 26 years old. He's gone up steadily. But if you look at the progression he's had with me, and he's got 2, a +3 there. But the beauty of this as well, which I thought might hinder him a lot more, it really hasn't. You can see here, he would benefit from facing stronger opposition in matches, and he's training well, but could advance slightly faster with stronger competition with better teammates. So let's say he was in an ice team and everyone was around the 62 to 64 mark, he'd probably go up a hell of a lot faster. He'd probably shoot up way quicker. So that's telling me he's got so much progression in him, ready to come. He could end up being an uncommon at some point, I think. And then there's this guy here, Schaffner, 24 years old, already gone up +2 for me. He was like, he had nothing, and then he went up +2 in one season, and then he's done the same here. And again, with the progression I've seen this season, I think he's got a lot more coming in for him. He really does. He's going to absolutely explode at some point, I think. And it might just come a little bit later. Once he starts reaching his prime age, I think that's going to really, really shoot up. Then obviously I had this guy here, Fiorini. Now this guy's only a stopgap because I've got a replacement for this guy next season. But he was a good stats player. Look at that. He's had great progression. He started out as a 54. He's gone all the way up to a 61. And again, he's fairly old, but he's got to be reaching his prime age soon, I reckon. Look at that. That entire season there, he had no progression. But nobody's progression is linear. Sometimes you've just got to take a gamble. He had all that progression in that first season, and then the following season, absolutely nothing. And then +1 in the next season. It could happen because it's not linear. Anyone could go off at any time. So I was always keeping an eye on that when I was buying players. And some were more gambles than others. Like I said, with my centre midfielders, I've not had any +1, obviously, other than Collins here, but he was got in a pack, and I thought he'd just be a throwaway player, honestly. But he's got progression, so that's telling me I might try and loan him out next season and see if he, into a poor Spark side, and see if he can get some good progression out of him. But, Zaitsev, Fisher, Shiraishi, I thought I'd see a lot more, but they've done nothing. So they may only go up +1 and, be late. But again, they could explode out of nowhere. But yeah, that was my thoughts when putting together this team on a budget. And I think I definitely did the right thing because, like I said, in Spark League, I shouldn't have been worried about players' ages. It doesn't matter as long as they're not set to retire. Even if they are set to retire, they've still got them for 3 seasons, and by then, hopefully, I'm out of the Spark division and I don't need to worry about it. But yeah, that was my big mistake, was the 30s. Not buying a player just because he was, pushing 30, 29, 30, whatever. That's not going to be a mistake I make for the next couple of seasons, I think. And then my other huge mistake was the shooting on my strikers, because I can see that so much, the amount of chances I get in game, and they just don't put them away. And I'm thinking, if you just had like 65 shooting, maybe we'd score a hell of a lot more goals and we wouldn't be in the position we're in. And maybe we'd be in that playoff position already. But you live and learn. You live and learn. And I have certainly lived, and I have certainly learned. This whole thing has been a great process. And like I said, once eventually I'm gonna put more money into this. When I get up into the higher levels, I'm gonna put more money into it, and I'm getting all the teething problems out of the way now. I'm learning all the ins and outs of the engine. I'm learning all the ins and outs of how stats affect certain things, and that's going to benefit me later. So hopefully you guys, hopefully you've heard this, and hopefully it helps some of you. I mean, if you're an expert in this, you probably already know this, and you're like sat there like, yeah, obviously, duh. But some of you may just be finding MFL for the first time, or in the same position as me. This is your first season, and you've made similar mistakes, and hopefully this helps some of you. So yeah, well, let me just go over what we've got coming up this week. We've got Alexandria Algonquins. I'm hoping to get a victory there. Evolution Academy, we should be winning that game. Saraska, there, I think I'll probably rest for this, for the cup, to get everyone ready for the cup. And then we've got a couple of games here. One of these I'm going to have to rotate just because I've got Skyfall Houston there, and then the run into the season. It's going to be a tough run in, but I don't want to be losing to these guys. Like, we lost to these guys last time, and I'm hoping this time I can turn that around and get revenge for these results. And hopefully that will help me push into those playoff spots. But yeah, I will give you an update on that next Wednesday. Hope if you got involved in the pack drop last night. I did try to get 2 packs. I got my first pack, and then the second pack, the payment went through, and then it said on the site, it was like, oh, we've had an external cancellation. You don't get your second pack. And I was like, oh my God, what has happened here? So I only got the 1 pack. I then went and overpaid for another pack on Flirty. Let me just see which player I got. Let me just show you the other player I got, which I've put up for sale because I won't be able to use him, to be honest with you. So I've put him up for sale. Where is he? Franz Joseph Hirsch. Like, my centre-backs are pretty set. He's got great defending stats. He's a little bit slow, but someone else may be able to put use to him. So I have put him up for sale. But yeah, I was quite happy with the pack drop. It was a lot easier to get the packs than I thought. I was worried I might not be able to get any, but I aimed for 2 packs. I kind of got 2 packs, but one of them got cancelled. I did get it on Flirty later, even though I overpaid. But whatever, I had fun. Did you guys get anything good from your packs? I've already seen in the Discord some of the polls some of you guys have. It's absolutely ridiculous. Though I've got to say, I am pleased with Tom Hart. I am, an 18-year-old, 62 rated. I don't use CDMs, but I guess I've got to now because I just can't, pass this guy up. I've got to use him. I really do. If someone wants to buy him for that price, they can go right ahead. But in the meantime, I am going to use him. If he sells, then I can use that to reinvest in my team. I could probably get 2 or 3 really good players for next season if that happens. But in the meantime, I am going to use this guy because an 18-year-old, he is my youngest player, and we'll see how that. I mean, I don't know about the blonde cornrows, though. I guess if you're 18. If you can't do it when you're 18, when can you do it, honestly? But yeah. So that has been that. Slightly longer video because I have been waffling on. So sorry about that. But yeah, slightly longer video. If you did enjoy it, if you learned anything from it, I don't know. If you just laughed at me being an absolute idiot and some of the mistakes I made, then, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And until next time, I've been Bruce Lee, guys. Peace.